Hey everyone, thank you for joining me for another YouTube video discussion here. It's a great, well not cold, but a cooler Friday morning here. So I'm thankful to have all of you guys watching that do watch. We're going to go and talk about something a little bit different. I initially wanted to talk about the PlayStation SKUs that were announced with the new Slim models, but I don't really think there's anything to talk about there. I mean, Sony's going to do what it's going to do, and at the end of the day, as long as it makes them be able to make PlayStations and sell more PlayStations, I think it's a good thing. Just like if Microsoft is going to do the same thing and release like an Xbox Series X Slim without a disc slot, that's cool. You know, whatever makes you money, whatever makes you sell. Because even with the last generation, I didn't necessarily agree with the Xbox SAD, which is the S all digital. But now we're seeing more like, hey, the Series S is all digital, and there's an all digital edition of the PlayStation 5, and probably going to have an all digital edition of the next Switch. So, I mean, it's the inevitable future. So, it is what it is. Despite, I think it's weird that, from what I can tell, there's two different SKUs. One that gives you the disc slot that you attach, and one that doesn't. I think they should just sell it as an all-digital one and just include the stand and all that stuff with it. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, come on, Microsoft should have built-in batteries in their controllers by now. They'll just let you charge them. But as you can obviously tell, they're not including that. They haven't included that for 3 console generations now. So Sony selling you a stand for $30 isn't anything new. They've been doing that since the PS2. So I'm not really going to say much about that, but I do want to talk about this new sort of app, I guess, and sort of what it can mean for the future. So what I have behind me and what I'm going to do my best to show you is this new sort of app that's called Sony Pictures Core. And it's something that you can download on your PlayStation 5 and probably even on your PlayStation 4. I haven't checked if it's on my PS4. But it's an interesting thing because it gives you Sony movies that you can rent and buy. Now, and some of it is included with your PlayStation Plus subscription also. So now, what's in here isn't much. You got Gran Turismo, you got Spider-Man movies and stuff like that. And you've got your traditional stuff that you probably would expect to see from Sony. And there is some older movies in here. Movies that are included with your PlayStation Plus are older movies. As you can see here, like The Blob and The Covenant and Driven and The Fifth Element and Ghost Rider and some older Godzilla movies and stuff. So nothing too groundbreaking, but I do think that it is a step in the right direction. Because look, is this sort of harkening back to the older days? Yeah, it is. It's sort of harkening back, I think, was it the PS3 era where we had sort of this split, right? We had, what was it, Nintendo, it wasn't Nintendo Minute, I can't remember what it was. There was something that came out on the Wii on like a monthly basis that you could watch, and then I think they had PlayStation Core, I think is what it was called, that gave you like a little rundown show of new stuff that was going on. And then you also had something with Phil Spencer on Xbox, not Phil Spencer, Larry Erb. He came out with like some kind of Xbox. Was it Insider? I don't remember what it was. It came out on like the 360 and stuff. But and then back on I think the 360 actually they had exactly like I think it was Microsoft or Xbox movies and music and stuff. They sort of split it to where they had their own. This sort of harkens back to that. But I sort of like it because of the rumor that sort of came out that Nintendo was looking into doing something similar, where they were looking to go and sort of have a Nintendo Video or Nintendo Movies kind of app on the next Switch to bring TV shows, to bring like the Mario movie as an example over, to bring a Donkey Kong movie or a Pikmin TV show or whatever over to their platform for you to be able to rent or buy. Or if they want to throw some stuff in there, that would be nice for people that maybe have, like, say, the expansion pack. that makes a ton of sense, because that, again, is what I was sort of talking about in my last video about adding more value to a service that you're paying for. Now, the only thing I don't agree with is the fact that some of these movies, and I think there's even probably some TV shows in here, I haven't gone too far through it, but it looks like it's mostly movies, are old. Right? Like Godzilla Final Wars, House of Flying Daggers, Starman, Hancock, the, what was it, the 1999 or whatever that crappy Godzilla remake was. Old movies that people have either already seen or readily available on other services. And the ones that you do want to watch, like you want to rent Gran Turismo, that's fine. But it's like $5 or $6, and it's like, well, I can already do that through Amazon Prime. But the reason why I think it's still a decent app is because of the fact that for those people that maybe don't have Amazon Prime, or maybe don't have the option to, again, go out and see movies, or have the option to, again, get their hands on Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever, and they just want to have something that's already included. Like they're paying the yearly cost of PlayStation Premium or PlayStation, whatever the next tier, whatever the tier down is, whatever, and they get this app. They have the option to at least watch some stuff, even if it is older, that maybe they didn't catch. And they then have the option to go, well, I do happen to have, some extra money this weekend. I'm going to rent this movie, and I'm going to watch it. So at least there is that option. Do I agree with it 100%? No, I still kind of think there should be some newer stuff in there. But this is a fleshling app. We have to remember that. This just came out, I think, a couple of days ago, last week or something. It's brand new. I just installed it today, and I think I got the notification on it a couple of days ago. So it's been a while. It's been a couple of days for me to get the chance to download it, and probably gonna be a couple more days for me to go through everything and see exactly what's on here. But the idea is that just like Netflix did the same thing when they started, and from what I remember, other stations, look at me talking about like old TV stations, other streaming services kind of did the same thing where they started out. And they had just like old like Fox TV shows. They had old stuff on there. And then they started to get their own original stuff. Like, if you remember back in the days of TV, I think when, what was it? A&E. I think when they first came out, they just showed like a bunch of old like 70s reruns of like Green Hornet and Greatest American Hero and all stuff like that. And then after time, what they started getting original TV shows, and they started to get like Walking Dead, and now they got all these original stuff to them that people probably don't remember them running that stuff. Cartoon Network did the same thing. They started to show a lot of the old TV shows, the old cartoons back in the day. Then they got so many new stuff, and they got the cartoons and the originals, that they took all the old stuff and they made a whole new channel called Boomerang. So sometimes it's a good thing, and maybe this will flesh out, and we'll have it to where going forward, all the Sony pictures, all the Spider-Man movies, all the stuff that's on there is something that you can get your hands on eventually. Even if you have to wait a couple of months, it might become included with PlayStation Plus, and that is a cool thing. It adds value to the subscription, and I like it. And to me, it almost shows this whole playing nice scenario that I wanted to I almost touched on in my last video talking about streaming, but I didn't want to go into the streaming portion of it. I wanted to talk more about the subscriptions of like PlayStation Plus and more exclusively Nintendo. But this goes into that playing nice scenario that I sort of wanted to touch on in that. And like, hey, Sony, you can have your own streaming service. It's okay, but you can also play nice with Disney because they have the Marvel movies, and you got a, sort of a contract, play nice kind of scenario going on where you give them Spider-Man and they give you like Doctor Strange and stuff. So this might work out good, and maybe this could be something in the future where again we can see hey, if you got Peacock or if you've got whatever, then you don't need to necessarily get the Nintendo Video or the Nintendo movie app or whatever. You can wait for it to come to Peacock. But if you don't have that service and you don't want to pay that much for it, and you're already paying for the expansion pack as an example, well, then you can get these movies included. You can get the option to go and rent Mario Brothers Movie 2 or the Legend of Zelda movie or Donkey Kong or whatever we're going to have out by that time. Who knows? But I did want to at least address this app. It's a brand new app. I'm going to go play around with it and see a little more about what it's got. But I think based upon just looking at what's in the included option and what's in the home option, I pretty much got the gist of it down, where the newer stuff you rent or buy, and there's older stuff that's included with premium. But I'm hoping that will change. Just like when you started to first get, I believe, Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, they started to have old games at first. And now as time has gone on, Game Pass is now starting to include the new games too. So I'm hoping that maybe within a few months to a year, this will just be a completely different app. And this will be something that we'll be like, oh yeah, this was a good idea. But what do you guys think about it? Because despite what I might think, it's a mixed bag. I mean, really, any streaming app at this point is a mixed bag, because you're going to get old stuff, you're going to get new stuff. You can get some that play nice and they put it on Netflix as well as Peacock, or they hoard it real close to their chest and like, no, this is my precious and you can't have it. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is something that can work out, or do you think this is going to go extinct and not really fly anywhere due to how it's currently working with Sony? And kind of, do you even think they need one? Because a part of me doesn't really even think they even really need this, but who knows, this might again play out to be pretty good. But I'm going to end it there because I babbled on long enough, taking up enough of your time, and I appreciate you listening to this old man babble on. But have yourself a good day, and I'll see you next time.